Happy New Year, everyone, and I hope 2024 is treating you all well so far. But for those of you who don't like snow, I have some bad news. We are tracking potentially two major snowstorms for the eastern U.S. before the middle of the month. So let's take a look here at the setup. We are currently looking at the European ensemble, and this is height anomalies. So this is where we have either a trough or a ridge. Troughs are usually associated with storms, and ridges are usually associated with high pressure, nicer, sunnier weather. So right now, our two storms that we're watching are technically going to be just right here in Alaska and off the map, actually, in Russia. So first things first, what's currently going on in the U.S.? We have a ridge over the central U.S., keeping the central U.S. a little bit warmer, and we have a storm system that's moving through the eastern U.S., and that is this trough right here. So we have a storm system off the coast of California, and that is going to be our setup storm. So as this storm system rides across Texas and into the Gulf of Mexico, we'll be seeing that storm pop out into the Atlantic Ocean, and that's going to actually bring in a lot of cold air from Canada, and we could be seeing that become our block here for this next storm system that cuts down from Alaska into California and then rides along the Gulf Coast as well before popping out into the eastern U.S. and becoming a nor'easter. Meanwhile, right on its tail is our next major system, and that is this deep trough digging into the Intermountain West and then popping out into the eastern U.S., where we could be seeing this become a very big Midwest storm. So that is the two storms that we're watching so far, and this is just the beginning of winter. In El Nino winters, which we're currently in, December is usually a slower month, and we see winter kind of get backlogged a little bit more January, February, March. So now it's January, we turn the calendar, and it seems like we're changing from feels like fall to definitely winter. So let's take a look here at our ensemble, snow depth ensembles here. So we are looking at these systems around the 7th and around the 10th. So here's the 4th. You can see that system here moving through, and boom, northeast U.S. could be seeing heavy snows. Now, this is only 3 to 6 inches, but this is also an average of 100 different models. So take this with a little bit of a grain of salt. This isn't exactly what people are going to be seeing, but it's a good signal that we're going to be seeing something in the northeast U.S. between the 6th and the 8th. Then right on its heels is that system in the Midwest, and that could be coming through between the 9th and the 11th. So that is what we're going to be looking at here. And let's take a look here at the European model and see what we're going to be looking at here. So we have this storm on the 4th that comes up the East Coast. Now, this doesn't look very important, but this is how we get that cold air, right? That storm and the storm that's currently moving through the eastern U.S. That is where we get that cold air getting pulled in from Canada. Now, as this storm system marches through the southern U.S. on the 6th, we see it move up the East Coast, bringing snow to Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Maryland, and Virginia itself. And we are going to be seeing this low pressure pop off of the country and into the Atlantic Ocean. And that allows this storm to bring snow to areas such as New York City and Boston, areas that did not get a lot of snow last year. So New York City had 2.3 inches of snow all of 2023, right? That includes this snow season as well as last snow season. We could be breaking that within 6 hours of a storm like this, because New York City could potentially get at least 3 to 6 inches of snow with this storm, maybe even more. But that is a little bit too far out to get into specifics on, but that is what's been showing as of right now. But as this storm moves out and we get those wraparound winds, we get even more cold air in the U.S. You can see these blue lines. Those are usually a pretty good indicator on where our cold air is. And we have that second system push right through the Midwest. We could be seeing blizzard conditions on the back end here. A very strong system, 986 millibars here moving through. And we could be seeing some very, very hectic conditions in Chicago and Detroit and into Wisconsin as well before this system moves out. And let's not count out the Northeast here too, because that previous system brought in that cold air. There's still cold air in the Northeast. So this storm could start off as snow for many in the interior, such as Pennsylvania and portions of New York and New England. But eventually those areas will switch over to rain, with maybe some areas wrapping around with that snow at the very end. But two potentially massive storm systems could be impacting the U.S. here in the next 2 weeks. So winter has come, and it is coming in full force. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon.